America, I hope you're listening. This is the part that's now starting to go out towards you. He said, come and sit by me, and I will tell you the real things now. I will tell you who is sleeping with who. Now, right there, people are like, that's not God. And of course, the door is that way. Same way you came in, goodbye. God says, I will tell you who is sleeping with who. And then imagine how I wanted to fold into the couch. You may say, oh, but Celestial, why? This is common knowledge. But I will explain to you why we are in danger here in America. You will understand. He says, I will tell you the real things now. I will tell you who is sleeping with who. Who Barack Obama is sleeping with. He is sleeping with a man. A man in the White House. A man in his bedroom. Michelle Obama is a man and has always been. And now it is time for people to know it. No one will harm you. No one will say anything to you worse than what they have already said. Tell them the truth before the pictures come out, before the live footage comes out to prove it. Tell them everything you see and hear of the Lord, and do not fear their faces, for there is nothing they can do to you, my faithful messenger who speaks my words from my mouth. The presidents of the United States have almost all been wedded to men. It is a time-honored travesty brought with them from England. Not only does it dishonor the male head, the leader of the home, the husband, but it defiles the marriage bed, and it brings down iniquity upon a country from the foundation. And so this thing of Michelle Obama, if you are new here, I did say that many of the prophecies that the Lord gave me after July the 2nd have been linked to or are overlapping with or are flowing down the same highway as that prophecy from July the 2nd that is entitled The Beautiful Men of America, The History of a Lie. I strongly urge you, if this is your first time being here, please make that one of the first series that you watch. And the reason that I think that everybody should go make sure that they go and watch all the parts of The Beautiful Men and should stop wriggling like flies that have been sprayed with Raid from the can, and stop fighting it based on, oh, but I don't think that face is a man celestial, and oh, but I don't think that woman is a man celestial. The reason you have to do this, people, is because for the first time in my days, I saw a beautiful man in this neighborhood. I'm not talking about the obvious trans that are walking around all over New York City. I saw a woman like myself that was a man when I went out to do groceries. Let me bring some perspective here, because there's something about us here in America whereby 2 + 2 is always 47. It never is 4 for the majority. Do you think that God telling us that the rulers of this nation have taken men with them into that White House and bedded down with them since 1770 whatever, do you think that this is something this nation can argue itself out of? Call the defendant to the bench, defendant comes forward. Your crime is that from inception, from George Washington's day, you have been committing open sodomy before a people that took themselves to be God-fearing. Let the attorney for the defendant stand up. Who do you think is going to stand up to the defense of this country to start arguing that case against Advocate Jesus? He's reading out the charges. George Washington, Sodomite. John Adams, Sodomite. Thomas Jefferson, Sodomite. James Monroe, Sodomite. John Quincy Adams, Sodomite. Barack Obama, Sodomite. Donald Trump, Sodomite. George Bush Sr., open, frightening Sodomite. Did you think this thing through before you pinned the badge of, oh, poor Celestial, we knew? Because now I'm coming with the godly perspective, and I'm wearing a bigger badge, which is called, aren't you terrified that God actually agrees that the presidents were gay? Aren't you scared? To be one of the gay rights activists? How should I call you? Why are you gay, America? Aren't you afraid? We should be terrified. The last thing we should hear God saying is, yes, one of the most popular presidents was sleeping and is sleeping with a man. For me, I have a healthy respect of what is normal. This is not normal. As I'm sitting here, I'm fully aware of what I'm saying and the magnitude of it. Unlike many people, it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me what it means to sit on camera and say that people, the whole world over, was fascinated by the rise of America's first black president, first black leader. The entry of this man into the White House represented far more than just an American vote. America, you should notice by now how invested people are in these elections, in U.S. elections. People around the world care more about U.S. elections than they pay attention to elections in their own country. Africa was in an uproar when this man came to the White House. How are you feeling now in Africa as you're hearing this, as you're hearing God confirm? I will tell you the real things. I'm going to tell you who's sleeping with who Barack Obama is sleeping with. You think Barack Obama is the only person that has been sleeping with a man? Barack Obama's name is being chosen by God because he's the one of whom the scripture says he shall not regard the desire of women. The final coming ruler of what is known as the beast system is a man who will not desire women. He will not want women. He is sleeping with a man in the White House, a man in his bedroom. Michelle Obama is a man and has always been, and now it's time for people to know it. And then God is telling me that no one will harm me. Do you think that he's saying that just because he thought it would be a fun thing to put in? Why would God say no one would harm you? Because Miss Joan Rivers is sleeping under a tombstone. But God says that it's time for people to know this and that nobody's going to bring harm to me. And that if anyone agrees, anyone argues, I know all the strong black women, you guys go and do some push-ups so that you can really be pumped up to come and bounce up and down like pogo sticks on this prophecy. All the strong black women people are going to be here saying, Celestial, how could you? How could you? How could you talk about the first lady like that? I mean, she wrote her book, Becoming, and just because she forgot to write Becoming a Woman underneath it, how could you say that about her? And my question to you is, how could I not? How could I not listen to God at 3 a.m. and write this stuff down and come and tell everybody that God says that footage and pictures are going to come out? How could I not let people know that their Father says, tell them the truth before the pictures come out, before the live footage comes out to prove it? What have I always told you about America? That nothing happens in this country without footage to prove it. What have I been saying all through The Beautiful Man? Have I not told you that footage will come out to prove who the Williams are? Venus and Serena, have I not told you that God says that footage will come out, that there is footage of all these people that is held over their head, and that is why they are so obedient. When you see them smiling, sometimes they're being the best puppets that they can because they have so much to lose. If you know that Ciara is a man, your brain will crack because she's your role model. So you are saying, how could I? But I'm asking you in all honesty, how could I not? I'm not serving the fame circle. I'm serving God.